It's the season finale. Good podcast. That
Enemy
season
spotted.
We made up the season, and here's the finale.
First podcast with a season finale.
Surely that's not the case.
No way.
But like they usually don't.
I don't know how podcasts work.
Welcome to Nuclear Popcorn. The rules of the game are simple. The host will show the players the last 5 minutes of a movie they haven't seen. The players will have a week to formulate a pitch of what they think the plot is. The closest gets meaningless points, maybe a crisp high five. Probably a smooch on the forehead because they're a good boy. Or girl. The host will then reveal what the actual plot was. And that's it. You'll get it. You're smart. And your host for the week is...
Yeah.
What's the podcast again?
What?
Do any of us know? What's a podcast?
I know them. I know a couple by name, but I couldn't describe it to you.
Sure.
So the concept of left, right?
Sure.
I couldn't
yeah,
describe
yeah.
left without referring to right.
Okay.
So I can't really describe what a podcast is without referencing like a movie or something. So
Which is exactly what this podcast is. We just reference movies all day.
yeah, what we just posted episode 9 today, and we
Yeah.
referenced 5 movies in a minute and a half.
It's got to be a new record.
Seriously, that was great. Oh, I'm August, by the way. Hello, welcome to Nuclear Popcorn.
Hello, host
Our host.
August.
I'm the host,
Sweet.
August.
Hi, August.
Sitting to my left, which is a concept that is hard to explain, is
Hannah.
Hannah.
The woman.
The
For the
woman.
final time. To my left. Also a hard concept to explain is...
Ben.
Ben.
It's me, Ben.
Ben, the hardest
I
concept to
am-
explain.
Not a woman. As of now. And to my left.
Hi.
I was going to say cool.
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
Let us know how that goes. I'm Luke.
I am your father.
As the editor for this podcast, I'm going to hate editing
There's
this
going to be
episode.
so much echoes.
Dude, I
Gonna have to turn all the way down.
up. Yeah, and finally come full circle to my left, which is not that hard of a concept. Just look at where I'm pointing, obviously.
Yep. 'cause
Yeah,
you can
audience, look at where he's
Yeah.
pointing.
You
Yeah,
can
come
see.
on. It's August.
It's,
But you already knew that.
it's me.
Just said it's and nothing else after.
It's... How's everyone's week been?
I don't think I watched any movies this week.
I
don't
rewatched
think-
The Prom for like the 90th time.
The
I
Netflix
don't...
one?
What is the prom?
Meryl Streep.
And the Broadway show. I did both this week.
Oh, sick.
Yes.
It's based on a musical. I haven't seen it. I need to see it.
Wait, you talked about this before, right?
The Prom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we hit record, I just enter a fugue state.
There's definitely not a The Prom slime tutorial on YouTube.
I know what
Definitely not. Totally no.
I'm
that
glad
doesn't
there isn't.
exist.
Why do I feel like there is one?
That
now?
no. I came up with that.
I definitely watched a Be More Chill slime tutorial.
Oh yeah, aren't they the best?
They're the best.
I can't afford
what's a slime?
anything more than a slime tutorial, man.
Should I explain what slime tutorial is? Slime tutorial is YouTube slang
Oh.
for bootlegs.
Okay.
So that way they don't get taken down.
Gotcha.
Because none of us can afford
Actual Broadway
$500 tickets to go see.
It registered right when you said "be more cool." I was like, "Why are there slime tutorials for all these Broadway musicals?"
I was like, is there a
"Oh no,
slime?"
it's just like to view it."
I assumed that there was slime in the prom, but I know about Be More Chill, and I was like, there's no slime in Be More Chill,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, we don't know what the squip looks like.
That's
so.
true. Well, and Mountain Dew is a form of slime,
That's true.
so...
Red
I love that
Mountain-
Luke
Red
knew
Mountain Dew,
exactly what I was talking about, though.
Oh,
Luke's
dog.
a theater
yeah.
kid.
It's awesome.
I'm
Yeah.
like semi-theater kid because I did sound for theater and all
Yeah.
my friends were in that and just by osmosis.
I'm a semi-theater kid because I was the coolest kid in my theater class.
Yeah, you were.
Which is not a high bar.
Ben was a band
I was
kid.
scared of the theater kids.
I was in choir.
Point at me and kick my ankles.
So
Kick your ankles.
what we've learned here is that Ben was a band
Ben
kid,
is a
scared of
coward.
theater kids.
Yeah.
Hannah was a choir girl.
Yep.
And me and Luke together make one theater kid.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I also dipped my toes into band because I played percussion.
There you go.
He dipped
And
his
I
toes
kind of
in
dipped
the
my toes
band.
into theater, so there's
And I
cross there.
kind of don't dip my toes in anything.
Yeah, I just kept
That's fair.
Fair enough.
That's
Because I'm
smart.
scared of
everything in
feet.
the.
Yeah, me too. They're terrifying. They're just
Gross.
absolutely disgusting.
They're the most alien
Mortifying.
part of the human body.
Yep.
All right, let's get on to the podcast.
Yeah, that.
What the hell are we talking about? All right.
We got here from the prom.
So the
We've
movie,
watched a lot this
Ryan
week.
Murphy.
the movie that was picked this week is C.H.U.D, spelled C.H.U.D. It is an acronym, and it is available on Amazon Prime streaming.
Thank you, Jeff.
It's from the 80s, I think. I could look it up, but I don't wanna. I'm feeling lazy today, as always. All right. And so I guess what's next? All right. C.H.U.D is from 1984, much like the book.
Oh.
There's a book.
Well, the book 1984.
Oh, I thought there was a C.H.U.D
Oh.
book, and I got
Oh my
real
God.
excited.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was going to be confusing when I made that dumb joke. But yeah, so we can go right into describing the last 5 minutes that we just watched.
So we open on two dudes, two average Joes.
Man with a
Gross.
mustache.
I wrote
Yeah.
guy with handlebar, but I didn't include mustache, so it's just guy with handlebar.
So guy with handlebar
Yep.
also has a gun. No,
No,
sorry,
the
other
other
dude
one has a gun.
They're talking about industrial waste dumped in the streets of the city. Is that the
Toxic
line?
waste, said industrial. He was saying a lot of stuff along
Toxic
those
industrial
lines.
waste from research projects dumped into the city. The other guy named Wilson has the gun.
Not volleyball.
And the references, I'm struggling to keep up with the references somehow this time. But yeah, so the volleyball Wilson guy has a gun, and he's like, he can't let the other guy get it out there, which I'm assuming is information on
Or
the
who knows?
industrial waste.
Yeah, I don't know.
I completely,
Okay.
I completely forgot about that line from last week.
That was
So-
the line I was
Yeah.
worried. That was like, okay, they said this line. I think they're gonna all three
That
guess
drove
what the
my
plot
entire
was.
pitch. So we'll
Good.
see.
It should have.
There's a really bad punch. Like the main guy punches the.
I just called him
The other
Guy
guy.
until we found out his name later
Well,
on.
he
I
calls.
think okay. The bad guy is named Wilson. I
Yeah.
know that.
Yes,
And then the good guy, the cop, is named Bosch.
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 Bosch. Because they say that at the end.
Bosch.
Yeah.
Bosch.
But then Wilson.
Oh, wait, he says something like, Bosch says something like, you think you could cover up killing a cop? Can't let
Yes.
that story get out. So I'm assuming the cop killing and the toxic waste were connected. So he decks this guy.
Yeah, and then
And then he just runs.
He punches. I will say this. He punches Wilson in the face, and Wilson kind of stands and shakes a little bit for a couple seconds, while Bosch, I think, grabs his gun and runs away.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's a woman driving a police car.
Oh, she was driving it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
She goes, like, she pulls up to the crowd of people that are around. Which do they even explain why there's a bunch of people around?
No.
No. And she
But there's a
gets-
crowd. She pushes through the crowd and she's like, "Who's in charge?
Who's in
Tell me
charge?"
who's in
Yeah.
charge." And like no one will tell her.
And then as she's like asking that, we see Wilson chasing after Bosch. And then they go around a corner and there's like this, it looks like a food truck. It's just a truck.
Yeah, think like
Like a-
classic exterminator
big
truck,
armored
ice cream
vehicle.
truck.
Like
It kind of looks like
UPS
a mail
style
truck,
truck.
to me.
Mail
Like,
truck.
with the door missing.
Yeah.
Like one
Yeah,
of those.
but it's
Yeah.
white.
It is white.
And Bosch drives the truck forward, almost hit. So the woman that was like, who's in charge? She comes around the corner too. He drives, almost hits her.
There's also the two other guys.
There is, yeah.
Oh, right.
We cut
This
after
explains-
he
yeah.
punched the guy and knocked him out. We cut to Marv from Home Alone
Dude, it looks exactly like Mark.
in the sewer, and I put with Dad from Home Alone,
They,
question
they
mark?
do look a lot like Marv and the dad from
And
Home
the-
Alone.
Okay. And so they're coughing heavily, walking through this dark tunnel up to a ladder, and they climb up the ladder.
They're in the sewer.
In the sewer, yeah, they're in the sewer underground.
But the truck is over the grate, right?
Yeah,
So they can't
the
get
van's
out.
on the
Yeah.
grate.
And then so Bosch moves the truck and lets them get out.
Right.
And then what happens?
Then Wilson.
Then-
Yeah.
Yeah, Wilson takes the truck, and instead of
No,
One
reversing,
thing,
First.
one thing happens first.
Wilson
Wait, what?
shoots Bosch. He comes around
that
the corner.
happened first.
It did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because Bosch moves the truck,
I've
Wilson
seen- well-
shoots Bosch, and then Wilson moves the truck again.
It's the way I've seen the scene twice, but I can't remember.
There is a lot of
what order
action.
the
Wait,
events
so
go in.
does Bosch take Wilson's gun? Or does Bosch just have a gun?
I think he did.
I think Wilson shot Bosch with his gun. He kept his gun.
Right.
Oh, you're right. You're
And
right.
then later on, Bosch's gun
See,
is taken
I've
by
seen the
another
movie,
guy.
and I don't even know what happened.
Okay.
Anyway,
feel
there's
a
a
little
lot of
bit better
shooting. and Bosch gets shot.
Yes. Bosch gets shot. Then he takes the truck. And instead of reversing and hitting the two guys and maybe Bosch,
Right.
he drives forward and past the woman, makes a U-E, and then tries to hit the two guys but misses.
Or
And
he
then-
starts driving forward, and
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
the guy who looks a lot like Marv from Home Alone.
he has a gun and starts shooting at Wilson, hits Wilson while he's driving the truck, and then in the most glorious shot in the whole movie, the truck just dips, the front wheel just dips into the sewer grate, and the whole truck blows up.
It's
Yeah.
the
so cool.
slightest fall. It goes and blows up. And then also there's Bosch
Yeah.
dying in the sewer.
Marv,
Or
or they
dying in the
drag Bosch over to the
street.
gutter.
Gutter, there you go.
Wilson drives away. Marv gets out. So does Home Alone.
Bosch
dad.
says, "Nice
Turns around.
shot" to Marv.
George, look out. So George is Home Alone dad. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy
I
who
think
looks like
that's
the dad
right.
I
from
guess
Home Alone.
Marv and Bosch were partners.
Is Marv his actual name?
No.
And then,
Just
okay,
gonna
I'm
call
just
him
making,
Marv.
I'm just
because he
making
looks
sure.
like that's all I
Okay.
labeled him as.
And then so the woman that was like who's in charge and George start kissing, so they're obviously together.
Well, I think she had said she was looking for her husband. So it's her husband.
So
Yeah.
her husband.
I
so
think.
they're
Her husband.
married.
Yes.
And so George. So they kiss, and then Bosch says, "Nice shot," and then he says, "Nice shot" again. And he goes, "Bosch." And then it has this weird panning shot where it focuses on the burning truck, and then it goes into the night sky, and then that's
Yeah.
the movie.
That's the movie. Pretty
Is it
simple.
left unsure if Bosch died or not, or did he die? Do we know?
I don't know.
I didn't put down if he died or not.
No.
Okay, I
There's a
think
sequel,
it's...
so he might be in the second.
Oh.
Well, good to know.
C.H.U.D 2 Electric.
It felt
Boogaloo.
like
It's
it was
called
left
Chud
up to
2,
interpretation.
Bud in the Chud.
Are you serious?
100%.
Bud in the Chud.
That's the
Okay.
best movie title I think I've ever heard.
I'm just.
I have no comment.
C.H.U.D 2,
After
The
seeing
Bud
this
and the
movie,
Chud.
there's no better name for
I
the
can't say
sequel.
anything nice, so I'm not going to say anything at all.
Oh, sorry, Bud the Chud.
Chud 2, Bud the Chud.
Somehow that's worse.
Bud the Chud. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So that's the
So
last 5 minutes.
that's the last 5 minutes. You guys did a great job. I'm proud of all three of you. So before we get into our first pitch, I shored up some more ad reads for everyone.
Whoop,
Thank
whoop.
goodness.
But I'm oh man, my throat's a little hoarse right now. So my throat is a little
It's a
hoarse
little
right
hoarse.
now. My throat's a tiny little hoarse right now.
Your throat is a little Sebastian?
My throat. Bye, little Sebastian.
I just
So
watched that
I'm gonna
episode, that's
send
why it's on my
this ad in our group chat, and I would like Hannah to read it.
Oh, boy.
Alrighty, and then we'll roll right into our first pitch, which is Hannah.
It is me.
Yeah. All right. So here's the first ad. Hannah, read it whenever.
Kevin O's when Kevin, destroyer of man, finally comes. Let him know whose side you're on with Kevin O's, now in 7 prophesized flavors.
Alrighty.
You read it like a 50s announcer.
I'm thank you, Hannah. That
Thank you,
was
Kevin
perfect.
O's.
I don't know how else I would have read it, in all honesty.
Exactly.
That's the only way to read that.
Destroyer of man. I don't know about you guys, but I could go for a bowl of Kevin O's right now.
Self-titled.
You better.
Great.
All right. Our first pitch of the night is and I guess for the last time.
For the last time,
because sadly Hannah will be leaving,
I will not be returning for the next season.
which is sad.
All
But
right.
she's moving on to better things.
No, stop it.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Our first pitch is
All right. So, C.H.U.D is a crime film that makes fun of cheesy films in the genre that came before it. Here, we have a classic crime story displaying the corniness and camp at full blast. Bosch is the top detective in this here city. I couldn't think of another name, so this here city is all you're getting. He's been assigned to the case by Deputy Moores, who's a big fan of Bosch's. The case is related to a murder tied into the sighting of a large animal at various locations around this here city. It's common belief that this creature is responsible for killing the victim. His right-hand man, Wilson, accompanies him to investigate, but warns Bosch that this case rubs him in the wrong direction. It gives him an uneasy feeling. It's important to note that many people believe this sighting to be a monster of some kind, but Bosch doesn't believe in that kind of thing. He's a very logical, smart dude. No belief beyond that. There are also 2 brand new officers fresh out of the academy who are dying to help Bosch on the case, but Bosch refuses their help, mostly because one of them is the worst shot in the entire police department. Upon arrival at the crime scene, the duo are disgusted to find the victim in a gruesome display that could only have been done by some kind of beast. But Bosch still doesn't buy it. The clues all lead down to the sewers under the city streets. Wilson says, well, he's claustrophobic, he's weary and afraid to go on, but Bosch tells him some corny one-liner about always having his back, and the two make their way into the sewers. Upon walking into the tunnels, Bosch notes the fog filling the air. Wilson covers his mouth and nose with his sleeve as the two travel deeper underground. A growl echoes through the chambers, putting Wilson and Bosch on edge. The two encounter C.H.U.D, the part bear, part alligator, part platypus, part capybara monstrosity that has been plaguing the city for weeks now.
How are you part platypus?
Part capybara?
I mean, if I had a choice to be part something.
Yeah, I picked,
you know what I mean?
It is an amalgamation of a bunch.
It just is.
Semi-aquatic,
It just
egg-laying mammal of action.
we can't put that in there, but like, it's fine. They're chased down by it and barely escape with their lives. When the two escape the sewers, the other cops are sent in to investigate, but no one finds any evidence of the creature and all are sent home. That night, Bosch cannot sleep and puts together an incredibly well-thought-out vision board of the crime. But he can't find the answers, damn it! Why can't he find the answer?
He went onto his Pinterest and started
He really
tagging a bunch of
did.
pictures.
He really, the red, the red little string connecting everything.
It all means something.
It all means something. The next day, the autopsy report concludes that the cause of death was not creature-related. Rather, the victim was killed and ripped to shreds by human hands.
Same.
Bosch asks how that's even possible, but no one knows exactly. The deputy says he has to put his personal admiration for Bosch to the side and get down to business. Find who's responsible and do it fast. In the early hours of the morning and covered in darkness, Bosch returns to the crime scene alone. As he travels deeper into the tunnels, the fog around him grows stronger. After another near-death encounter with C.H.U.D, Bosch discovers a ladder that leads to a hidden door. The door opens to an old deserted building. While he wanders up and out of the tunnel, the two new cops, who are fresh out of the academy, are revealed to have followed Bosch into the tunnels and are now experiencing the wrath of C.H.U.D for the first time. The wrath of C.H.U.D is not something I ever thought I was going to write out. I'm just letting you know that.
That's the third movie in the trilogy, The Wrath of C.H.U.D.
Don't tell me that.
This time it's personal.
The deserted room contains information on every cop in the city and another lovely little vision board with Bosch's picture and eyes crossed down. Bosch is hit over the head and held hostage in the shack. The person responsible for the crime is... dun dun dun... Wilson. But there's a twist. It turns out there is no monster at all. The fog in the sewers was created by a drug, a concoction of various toxic wastes that caused extreme paranoia and visions to anyone exposed. The longer you're exposed, the worse the symptoms are. Oh. Wilson's entire goal was to sabotage the leadership and the police department so he could take over, which leads to our next twist. The deputy is the quote-unquote monster, responsible for killing the victim without any knowledge of having done so. Oh. Think Jekyll and Hyde, but like cop edition. Wilson plans to reveal the deputy's crime to the world and claim that Bosch was in cahoots with him. They will also be found responsible for the murders of the two young cops in the sewers. Bosch manages to get outside, but Wilson corners him. This leads us to the last 5 minutes of the film. Full of cheeseball dialogue and the fakest of punches, C.H.U.D is a fun adventure for the whole family.
Yay!
Featuring industrial waste.
That do be it, fam.
That causes people...
The real monster was the police
hysteria.
deputy all along.
C.H.U.D.
Is that not
C.H.U.D.
much like real life? Anyway.
Yeah,
Wrath
it's great.
of
Reminded me
C.H.U.D.
kind of Hound of the Baskervilles-esque.
Yeah.
I want to, I know this movie's from the 80s, but I want to see this done as a modern movie that's making fun of, these 80s movies.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be really
Black
fun.
Dynamite. Or...
So cornball.
This movie does have a big cult
I want it to
following.
be so cornball, it has cornballs in it. That's what I want.
August, can you verify, are there cornballs in this movie?
I don't know what a cornball
Is cornball
is.
what the C in CHUD
What?
stands for?
Is cornball the thing from Arrested Development where they keep burning their hands on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
I think it
then
is,
no,
yeah.
there are
That
no
sounds like-
cornballs. Man,
Dang.
that was pretty good.
That was great.
That was great.
This here city.
This here city.
What
My favorite.
What a finale of a pitch. The
Thank
final woman pitch.
The final
The final
woman.
The
Woman
final
pitch.
woman pitch.
Yeah.
Hannah, thank you so much.
Thank
Oh,
you. Hannah.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Alrighty. Before our next pitch, I've got another ad read, and my throat's still hurts.
Oh man, this is a little pony.
It's just I'm a little hoarse. I'm Neigh. This next one is Ben. If you wouldn't mind reading it for me.
Sure thing.
Yeah. Wait. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben. All right.
Progressive Insurance, ladies. Wait, Progressive Insurance. Ladies, what are you going to do when Kevin, destroyer of man, finally arrives and slays your husbands? Progressive Insurance is here for those celestial obstacles life throws your way.
Sweet.
Progressive Insurance.
Thank you, Progressive. That's very
Thank you,
progressive.
Progressive.
of you.
Progressive Insurance.
Thank you, Progressive. We really appreciate it. They paid a lot of money for Ben to read that ad.
I would pay a lot of money.
Progressive
to hear
Insurance.
Ben.
No, but like it wasn't just like to have the ad read. They were like, we need Ben to read this ad. We need Ben specifically. And I was like, I can't. Okay.
Ben Kruger is a high dollar voice actor.
I fear for my life.
You should.
I should be bundled with Progressive.
Alrighty. Our next pitch is from. Yeah.
That's me. That's Ben.
That's Ben's noise.
That's
he
the
makes.
noise that Chud makes.
Kinda.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Bosch is a private eye hired by the mysterious Jill De Janeiro to find her missing husband, George, who went to work as a civil engineer one day and never returned home. The police figured it had been a routine case of infidelity given the fact that George would return home each night prior, covered in confetti and glitter. So Jill decides to entrust Bosch with uncovering George's whereabouts. Investigating the office where George works, Bosch meets Wilson, the man behind sewage system operations for the city over the last 10 years. Wilson says it's strange that George has stopped coming to work and that he never came into work the day that he disappeared. Wilson asks Bosch if anyone else knew about George's disappearance, and after hearing that the police have called off the investigation, Wilson requests that Bosch keep his own investigation on the down low. Bosch, looking through George's desk space, opens a drawer to reveal a sticky, smelly purple ooze. He gathers some of the substance as well as George's briefcase and sneaks them out of the building to his lab. Dr. Marv, Bosch's forensic chemist, runs tests on the ooze, concluding that when put into contact with living things, the ooze transforms and disfigures the substance. It's not man-made, or at least it doesn't behave as any previously known substance would, as if it's from another planet or dimension. Marv takes a sip of warm milk from his thermos, and Bosch tells him that he's a disgusting little freak. Marv says, whatever, it comforts me. Reading through George's papers, Bosch finds maps to George's latest sewage system designs, and all paths lead to a scribbled area in the center of the city labeled C.H.U.D. C.H.U.D. The following day, Bosch and Marv sneak past guards into one entrance of the tunnel system. And when Bosch disregards the keep out and danger signs, Marv is on edge. They pass through door after door, entering key codes from George's briefcase, and the further into the tunnel they proceed, the darker it gets. In the darkness, they hear a consistent thumping noise in the distance. Marv really wants to go back in the direction they came, but Bosch tells him to drink his milk like a little baby, and Marv sips the milk and they continue on.
Same.
At last, they see a faint blinking light, and the thumping turns into electronic beats. It's music. It's harrowing music repeating beats of thumping bass, and the men approach as a laser light show above a crowd of people dressed in red and white jumpsuits.
Is C.H.U.D a rave?
C.H.U.D is, you'll see. Bosch and Marv are swarmed into the crowd.
Does Paris Hilton appear and steal his top hat?
What, like in Cat in the Hat?
Like in Cat in the Hat.
That happened in Cat in the Hat?
Yeah,
there's a whole
Cat
sequence
in the Hat
where
rave scene.
the cat
Paris
takes
Hilton.
takes Condor and Dakota Fanning down into this rave, and Paris Hilton is there for some reason
For like 2 seconds.
because they have to
Steals
escape
his
Alec
hat.
Baldwin, and so
Yeah, because
Oh,
he's
I
trying to get
forgot
his
about
dog
that.
back.
no, it's a very
Ooh.
forgettable scene.
You guys want to watch that after this rather than C.H.U.D?
We could watch both, honestly. But Bosch and Marv are swarmed into the crowd, and they notice the floor is covered in the purple ooze they dissected back at the lab. Immediately, their minds go numb, and they lose their vision. Their bodies contort in horrifying ways before giving into the music. There's a 10-minute long dance sequence to the tune of Smash Mouth's Getting Better, played 4 times in a row. But towards the end of the 4th dance segment, Bosch and Marv are pulled away from the crowd by beings in hazmat suits labeled with C.H.U.D. They snap out of their lightning thief-esque trance as they are whisked further and further away from the crowd. The beings from C.H.U.D are cat-like humanoids hired by an organization known as the Cat Hat Unit of Defense. And they've identified the purple substance as a radioactive material that changes substances at a nuclear level. The reason Bosch and Marv were pulled away was that they aren't wearing the red and white dress code like the other partygoers, which means they hadn't yet been transformed by the purple ooze.
Oh my gosh, Ben. The purple ooze, like
What?
like in Cat in the Hat. Like with what Alec Baldwin turns into.
Oh, I guess, yeah, he does get covered in purple ooze.
Right.
But that's unrelated to this pitch.
Sure.
That's unrelated.
Ben, you were listening to the Cat in the Hat soundtrack while
Hey,
writing
it's a
this.
good soundtrack by David Newman.
Know that.
C.H.U.D needs to run tests on the men since they've come into contact with the material. Despite explaining their predicament and quest to find George, they're put into blue hairnets, forced to wear red straitjackets,
Oh, gosh.
and gagged with horrifying face masks.
Oh,
Are they numbered as
They're
well?
assigned numbers, thing 1 and
No.
2. The cats investigate Marv's thermos, and upon opening it, they can't resist the smell of the warm milk. They lap it up, but being lactose intolerant, they all burp and throw up all of the milk and hairballs in their stomachs and produce diarrhea all over the test site.
No.
With the cats incapacitated, Bosch kicks the keys into his straitjacket lock and unlocks himself and Marv. They take 2 hazmat suits and race through the crowd of dancing partygoers chased by struggling cat people. The cats not wearing hazmat suits get caught up in the haze of the music and can't resist the urge to dance. Marv sees a dancing George on top of a crowd of people. I forgot that I put him on top of a crowd of people. Just as Bosch finds an exit tunnel. The 2 get separated by the crowd, with Marv set on bringing George home and Bosch set on uncovering the secrets of C.H.U.D and revealing the organization to the world. They go separate ways. Cutting back and forth, we see Marv retrieve George, snap him out of his trance, and lead him down the same tunnel that Bosch runs into. But first, Bosch runs into Paris Hilton in there for some reason, before escaping through a series of tunnels according to George's map. He sheds his hazmat suit before returning to the surface right outside George and Wilson's office. Of course, Wilson is there and apprehends Bosch at gunpoint and brings him to a back alley to prevent him from getting word out. The evil plan all along was to use the purple substance to cultivate rare precious materials like gold, and additionally, they could sell the substance to the government to weaponize the power of dance against the enemy Soviets. The cat people were an ancient species of underground rodents, evolutionarily transformed by the mysterious purple substance. And while the cats would like to protect the substance in their home, the powerful hand of capitalism and the threat of chemical warfare kept the underlings silenced for all these years. Bosch is disgusted by the corrupt idea of utilizing the purple substance for evil, while it could be used for good. Much like in Watchmen or the Suicide Squad, Bosch must get this news out to the people no matter the cost. Which brings us to the last 5 minutes of the movie where it's this weird cop sequence, which I just want to go back to the tunnel. It sounds fun. And the end.
Oh my gosh, Ben.
That
Wow.
was tremendous.
I'm proud, but I'm also very, very disappointed.
I couldn't say, yeah, it's a Cat in the Hat reference early on, because that would spoil
That would ruin the whole thing.
Because the Paris Hilton cameo would have...
I feel bad for
wouldn't have
ruining
gotten
the
off
Paris Hilton cameo.
No, it's good that you asked, because then we could explain the reference before getting into everything.
Oh my gosh.
But
That was akin to Luke's SpongeBob
Oh yeah.
movie sketch from a couple weeks ago.
Shell Beach.
I just want a really bad crime movie where they're like, but that doesn't make any sense. Their DNA would be everywhere, and they're like, shh. It's fine.
We're at
Don't
minute
question
20.
it.
Drink your
Don't
milk,
give us
you
that much
baby.
evidence early on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, drink your milk like the little baby you are.
So
Oh,
that's
God.
why when they asked the cat where he's from, he said my place, of course, because he was
Yes.
avoiding answering the sewers.
Exactly. He didn't want to give off the impression that he was a sewer rat evolutionarily transformed into Mike Myers.
Right. And then they said, no, where do you come from? And he went, well, when a mommy cat and a daddy cat,
Yeah.
instead of going, I am a rodent who's
He
been...
tries to
How do you
throw
know
him
that
off the
movie
scent.
so well?
I've seen that movie so many
I've
times.
seen it.
And I like
but
to think that
So many
the
times.
red box being made in the Philippines is actually from the Philippines, and that it's not from a metaphysical place that the cat is really
Right.
from.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was top notch, Ben. Top notch.
It's a great movie. Want to watch Cat in the Hat now.
Yeah.
All right, I've got another ad that this time I would like to be read by Luke. Luke, if you wouldn't mind reading this next ad for me.
Absolutely, sir.
All right, I just now sent it. And read it in your best announcer voice that you can think of.
Best announcer voice. All right. New from Hasbro. Robot boyfriend. Did Kevin, goddess of mercy, slay your betrothed because he didn't demonstrate his loyalty to the greater cause? We'll replace him with a stronger, sexier, quieter robot boyfriend. He won't sleep with your sister. Guaranteed! We fixed that bug. Robot boyfriend. Now for the low price of one shard of Kevin.
Yeah.
So Kevin is goddess of mercy, destroyer of man?
I don't know.
According to
This is just the ad reads they gave me.
I'm glad
Depends on the day.
I'm glad they fixed the bug.
I think you should talk to Hasbro about
The emails they sent these from was just a bunch of random numbers and symbols at Yahoo. So like I'm very, very concerned about where these
Did the
Not
checks
Hotmail?
August, did the checks clear though?
What?
Did the checks clear?
Technically, they paid me in gold doubloons.
And Clash of Clan gems.
They paid me in power levels.
How about Robux?
Oh yeah, the Robux.
I was gonna say League of Legends, but I don't know what the currency is.
They
League of
paid me
Legends.
in League of
They
Legends.
paid me in the free game League of Legends.
That's all that matters. As long as you got paid and we read.
As long as the checks
Right.
went through.
As long as the checks went through.
As long
All right,
as those Robux cleared.
on to our next little pitch. All right, it's from my main man,
Oh man.
Oh no.
Luke.
Hi guys.
Hey, Luke.
I'm
So-
glad it ended. It wrapped up in a good, in a nicer way
I was
than it
like,
started.
August, don't go any further. Don't spiral. Don't spiral.
I have a tendency to
Got a little
spiral.
sultry.
Yeah, me
That's-
too.
yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Really? No.
What?
What? I'm gonna get my pitch now. So I'm gonna kind of take it back to our first few episodes, and this isn't so much like a scene by scene of what's gonna happen. This is just a general pitch for what I want this movie to be. So C.H.U.D is of course an acronym. In this case, it stands for Christmassy Homes Under Danger and is the gritty origin story of the Wet Bandits.
Oh my gosh! Amazing.
So Harry, or AKA George, I'm gonna call him Harry for the sake of Wet Bandits, and his wife, all they want as newlyweds is a nice Christmas together, but they're very poor. So what does he and his best friend Marv decide to do? They decide to rob all these houses full of Christmas decorations just so that way they can have a nice Christmas together. But of course, they get caught, sent to jail, and all of the cops that worked on that case they're in this huge feud together over like who really put them in jail and who should take the credit for putting away
The two guys that stole Christmas
the
decorations.
two guys that stole Christmas decorations.
It's the crime of the century. We got to take credit for it.
And the two main cops are Wilson and Bosch, of course. And it's really like a cop political drama for a good part of the movie. But what Wilson doesn't know is that Bosch is actually working with the bandits to get the inside scoop of where robberies are happening, so that way they can successfully keep robbing houses. But so they're in jail. So a lot of this movie plays out like Shawshank Redemption, where the Wet Bandits are just in prison and because it's Christmas, they get given just one of those little ice cream little things you get at school, like in elementary school.
Oh,
The
little
little-
cups.
with the
Little
little cups that you
thingies.
peel back the lid with
Uh-huh.
a wooden spoon, and the wooden spoon is important because that's how they escape prison. They use the wooden spoons to dig their way out, and they eventually find their way into the sewer.
Do they have a poster that they
Yeah.
had?
Oh, God.
I'm trying to think of something off the top of my head that
Me
would be
too.
on the poster, but I can't.
That's
Like what the poster is?
Yeah.
Capybara.
It's a
capybara
It's a
poster.
National Geographic.
Yeah. And so Wilson is so fed up with Bosch because he didn't do anything for the case. He just kind of took credit. Wilson doesn't just want to catch the Wet Bandits. He kind of wants them dead. He's like, I don't want to deal with these guys anymore. He has this whole Grinch theory that they're like stealing Christmas and he wants to get revenge. But Bosch makes sure that isn't going to happen because Bosch is their friend and they're in cahoots with together. So they escape prison using the tiny wooden spoons and somehow make it into the sewer system. And so that is...
Hold on. Are you saying that in the movie Chud, Joe Pesci is played by the dad of Home Alone?
Yes.
That's amazing.
They just...
It's like in Peter Pan from 2003 when Captain Hook and the dad are the same actor.
For no reason, yeah.
For- yeah.
Except it's not
Jason
Joe
Isaacs.
Pesci.
Yeah.
I see Joe Pesci as that attractive, you know?
Oh, I get you.
Yeah. That's
fair.
how I see Joe Pesci.
It's the only way my cousin Vinny makes any sense.
Yeah.
Right. He's
Yeah,
just
right. so
so attractive.
Right. That's how he got Marissa Tomei.
So they get in the sewer. So the sewer is important because when they come out of the sewer and eventually this whole news story breaks about, Wilson dying and the truck blowing up, they're like, oh, who are those two guys that crawled out of the sewer? Those are the wet bandits, and they're wet because they were in the sewer, so that's how they get their name. And that's where the last 5 minutes plays out. So this is Todd Phillips' Joker, but for the wet bandits.
I like it.
Thank
I
you.
like it. Yeah. It's good.
Thank you.
Nice job, Luke.
Thank you.
I think my favorite part is Joe Pesci's character being played by the
Played by
dad.
the
in
dad in
Home
Home
Alone.
Alone.
I just see that guy just looked like Marv, and that's all I took from this. Is like,
That really is the only similarity between the movie and your pitch. Is that the guy looks like Marv.
and you know what? I'm okay with that. It's the season finale. I don't really care.
I like it.
Thank you.
I like it. All right. I've got one more ad read, but I'm feeling better because I took a cough drop.
Oh, that's-
or actually, the little horse ran away.
Like how you were deciding what actually happened.
Bye
to
bye,
fix
little
her ailment.
Sebastian.
All right.
Oh.
I will preface this by saying I don't remember most of this. And it goes on for a couple pages. Yeah, cool. All right. Do you miss the feeling of being touched? Has been months since you felt another human being. I mean, yeah, you can interact with others, but since Kevin, bringer of peace, locked all of you in these metal bodies, you haven't really been able to feel touch. In fact, you haven't been able to feel many things. Maybe at first you thought that was because of your husband's murder, your husband's sacrifice. But now you can't keep any of your emotions straight. And you don't even know if any of this is normal. You can't talk to anyone about these things, or the police, the arms of Kevin, will send you to the depths. The horror stories of those that come back, not told through their words, but the stories told through what's left of their eyes. No, you must live with this pain. No, pain would be a good reprieve. You must live with this dullness. There's only one thing that really brightens your day, isn't there? The wonderful scent of bounce dryer sheets. We can't get the stains out, but it'll smell like lavender.
All right.
Full circle, baby! Bounce dryer sheets are giving us money again.
Yeah, they're our only repeat business so far.
They always bounce back.
Hey.
They all bounce back. Alrighty. Now, on to the actual... Oh, judging.
Points!
Chudging.
Judging. Points.
That sounds inappropriate.
Yeah, it sounds like something that would be bad.
It's not bad.
It's not
It's
bad.
just it
It's not.
sounds
It
like
sounds like it would be.
It sounds like... Yeah, it sounds like some sort of like Urban Dictionary term
Yeah.
that middle schoolers will say to
don't
each
wanna
other
look
and
it up?
snicker. I'm not gonna look it up.
Yo, dude, Brian and I went chudging this weekend.
Dude, that's disgusting. Why would you
Look it
do
up.
that? With Brian?
It sounds
Just in
like,
case we need to
and I don't know
censor
what the actual term for this is, but when college boys fill like the gallon of like a empty
Borg.
water. Borg? Is that what it's
I
called?
think that's where it's like
Okay.
like jungle juice, but in
Yes.
a giant jug. Yeah.
Yes. What is that?
I think it's called borging, and I think it's
This is the first time I'm hearing about any of
See,
this.
that sounds like a
so
that sounds
it's
like a
it's a
chud to
party.
me.
Like it's a type of party. You get a big
I know
gallon.
what jungle juice is, but what is Borg?
I don't know what jungle
I
juice
think it's
is.
borging. It's you get real quick. Jungle juice is I think the idea. I don't party. It's gonna come through evident when what I'm saying.
I don't
think
either.
it's everything.
I was an RA.
Ew.
I don't
I think it's
party.
like half gin, half actual jungle juice. I think that's like the classic ratio, and it's supposed to be in a big barrel.
It's a big barrel. From what I understand, you just mix a bunch of alcohol together.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
borging is the same thing, except instead of a barrel, each person has their own personal gallon jug, and they're supposed to get through it by the end of the night.
Good
Yeah.
lord.
Which, yeah. Yeah.
Don't do that.
So judging, I think trying to remember. Okay, I think most accurate. This is hard, right? Because Luke's is not accurate,
Well, good.
which just makes it easy.
Glad we got that one out of the way.
The problem is Ben's spends a lot of time in the sewers, and about half of C.H.U.D is in the sewers, and Hannah's has that like paranoia and like. I'm gonna say Hannah, you win for most accurate.
Okay.
And you get 14 pictures of homeless people.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's evident to the that works
Okay.
for
As
the
long as
movie.
it's pertinent.
It's pertinent to the movie. It's pertinent to the movie.
Okay.
I
I hope they're doing better. Doing well.
They aren't.
Oh no. No. I don't like that. No.
No, it'll
What
be
is
explained when I
C.H.U.D?
explain the plot of the movie.
Okay.
All right.
I hope so.
And Ben and Luke.
Or and Hannah, yeah.
And-
I'm trying to think of my favorite. I think Ben's was my favorite, just because it was basically Cat in the Hat.
Man, you really played your
Well, it
own
was the
thing.
Cat in the Hat universe,
It
which
was
is
a
better,
1-minute sequence in the Cat in the Hat.
which I love.
That was the entire plot of this movie.
So Ben,
Yay,
yes,
Ben!
you get it, and you get 3.5 corrupt officials.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll see how I add that to the scoreboard.
They
I
can't
don't know.
sleep here. I'm sorry.
Because
They can't. Oh, yeah, we already got all those mongoose up in here. So it's
Yeah.
just like I don't know. All right,
half. Okay.
sweet. That's the judging. I feel like every time I host, it's always the most like chaotic and weird, and it never works.
I think it works.
Oh yeah.
But hey,
You're
work.
fine. You're doing great.
What's C.H.U.D about?
Yeah, what is Chud?
C.H.U.D. It's from 1984, and it stars John Hurd, Daniel Stern, and Christopher Curry, who are in order the dad from Home Alone,
Yeah.
Marv from Home Alone,
Yeah.
and the cop. Yeah, he's the cop in C.H.U.D. His name is Bosch. but
Bosch,
I
yeah.
don't think he's in much else. This movie is another one of those that like became a cult classic and inspired a lot of other movies, and like it's bad but like enjoyably bad, and it's fun to laugh at, and yeah, it's also got the woman from Brazil. in
Brazil.
it. Kim.
Graced?
I have the
Graced?
Wikipedia page in front of me. I should know, but I don't.
It's Greist.
Yeah, Kim Greist,
Graced.
I think. Yeah. Oh, and this is also John Goodman's first movie.
Whoa!
He walks into a diner.
Oh, is he like a...
He's a cop. He goes into
Yeah.
a diner, flirts with a waitress, and dies. But it's like his first movie.
As one does.
As
It's great.
John Goodman does.
All right, and so now I'm gonna read the plot. Once again, I'm using the Wikipedia page because I completely forgot to write the plot.
Let's go Wikipedia.
Let's go Wikipedia. Next time I host, will be sponsored by Wikipedia. Doing our jobs for us. All right. The film opens with a woman walking her dog down an empty, darkened city street. As she passes by a manhole, a creature attacks her and drags her and the dog into the sewers.
Crime hole.
Is that C.H.U.D?
And then, we don't know. And then opening title, C.H.U.D. It's clearly an acronym. Doesn't tell us what for.
Okay.
George Cooper, who is the dad from Home Alone, a once prominent fashion photographer, is living with his girlfriend. Wikipedia, you wrong. Is living with his wife, Lauren. His current project is photographing New York City's homeless population, specifically those known as undergrounders, or people who reside in the city's sewers and subway tunnels.
Wait a minute. Is this full grown ass man profiting off of taking pictures of homeless people?
So I'm not sure if it'll explain further on, but basically he's a news photographer. So throughout the whole movie, he has a guy who's writing his article, calling him, going, "Hey, I need your pictures, so we can address the homeless problem in this city."
Huh.
So it's less
Okay.
him profiting off of it
And doing it for news purposes.
for news purposes.
Okay.
It's
And
the Daily
actually,
Bugle.
he did become famous, or the guy who wrote the article became famous for it, because this is not their first article they wrote.
Interesting.
They did one before on homeless people,
Okay.
and it got really
So they're
popular.
trying to bring awareness to the situation.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
And his wife is a model, and she kind of brings him to do like a a fashion shoot, and he's pissed about it. He doesn't like doing this.
Well,
yeah.
why is he pissed?
He's like,
'Cause
oh,
he
no,
wants to do
I'm gonna spend time with my wife.
He wants to do. Well, it's
It's the 80s.
she's posing nude, and he doesn't like that. And then also, he doesn't want to be a fashion photographer anymore. He wants to be a serious photographer.
Oh, well, get over yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, get it together, buddy.
George.
Jeez.
Job's a job, buddy.
All right. NYPD Captain Bosch, who's a cop, has a personal interest in the recent flood of missing persons being reported to his precinct because his wife also is missing. I don't know why it puts it here, but we learned that later in the movie that the woman who died or got grabbed at the beginning is his wife, meaning that was also his dog.
The dog died.
No, the dog.
Oh, I do have to say this. I forgot to put a trigger warning in front of this. The dog does die.
Oh.
So do a bunch of people, but more importantly, the dog dies.
Oh, I don't care about the people.
I don't care about the people. So Bosch goes to a local homeless shelter where he's looking into the disappearances. One guy reported 12 disappearances, so he goes to the homeless shelter to talk to the guy, and the guy's name is AJ, the Reverend Shepherd, and this is Marv from Home Alone.
Sweet.
They call him the Reverend.
Is he a priest?
Nope.
Oh.
They don't explain it. Bosch makes fun of him for it, but they don't explain it.
It's like Rev in Remember the Titans. He's not a preacher, but
That's what they call
he's
him.
religious. That's what they call him.
I mean, he's not the Reverend in this isn't even religious.
Oh, that's cool.
Is this based on a comic book or something? Because this sounds like...
No, this
or like
is
a graphic novel or something?
This is something that inspired a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of graphic novels that
Weird.
Yeah, so...
Because like the Reverend, that sounds like the name of a
Right.
character who has like a whole backstory that, I don't know.
But so Bosch goes to the homeless shelter and he talks to the Reverend, and we find out that he has arrested the Reverend before for like conning people or something. Whatever. They talk. AJ believes that who's the Reverend, believes that the recent events are part of a massive government cover-up and has evidence to prove it. Bosch's superiors know more than they are letting on and seem to be taking their cues from Wilson, who works for the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. So also during this, Bosch calls his boss and goes, "Hey, I can't ignore all these disappearances anymore. I know you guys keep telling me to ignore all these people that are disappearing. I can't do that anymore." And so now he's taking it in his own hands. What, Luke?
You said nuclear.
Oh. I didn't even...
Yes, so Wilson, who works for the Nuclear...
I'm going to fight you.
No, what?
You combine both of them.
Nuclear Regulatory Commission. It turns out that monsters are lurking beneath the streets, beings that were once human but have been mutated by radioactive, chemical, toxic waste into hideous, flesh-eating creatures that prey on the homeless who live in the underground.
James Corden. Taylor Swift.
And this is where they reveal what C.H.U.D stands for. It stands for Cannibalistic Humanoids, Underground Dwellers.
Oh.
Or actually, that's what Wilson says it stands for. He says C.H.U.D, Cannibalistic Humanoids, Underground Dwellers.
So he kind of wasn't far off with the whole monster thing.
Yeah,
You really weren't.
beasts that...
That's interesting.
Yeah,
This
so,
movie's rated R?
It's rated R?
Yeah.
Huh?
I think so.
Really?
This
No, it makes sense.
84.
There's a lot of F-bombs.
84, yeah.
Did I even hear a single F-bomb?
No.
I
Last
don't
5
remember
minutes.
an F-bomb. Whatever. Okay, cool.
This seems like a
Me, cool.
kind of cool. Up until this
Sure.
point, it seemed like an 80s kind of
Right.
family whatever,
No.
but no hard.
Oh, no,
no.
I was thinking of like the stuff. Or
It is
something
more
like
in line
that.
with the stuff than
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
Okay.
If you've seen the stuff.
The right stuff.
Given the recent drop in the underground transient population, because there's a whole slew of people that just live underground in the sewer system, the creatures have resorted to coming to the surface through sewer manholes to feed. So that's why people are disappearing.
Gotcha.
Through a series of events, both George and AJ find themselves trapped in the sewers, or Porter gets involved and eaten, and Lauren, the wife, has a problem with a clogged shower drain and a mutant that comes up through the sewer access point that she opened in the basement of her apartment building. She's taking a shower, the drain clogs, she tries to unclog it with a coat hanger, and she just gets sprayed with blood.
Ooh.
It's a pretty good scene.
Kind of sounds like Ghostbusters.
It's a little Ghostbusters-y.
Okay.
And then
I've seen an It.
she goes with...
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
thinking of
that's
It
true.
this whole time.
She goes down into the basement, and then a Chud comes up, and she comes up and closes the door and locks it. The Chuds look really, really good. Like, it's kind of weird how, like, they keep them hidden for most of the thing, and they got glowing yellow eyes. They look really cool.
Fun.
Jawas.
So AJ and George meet up and discover that the Nuclear Regulatory Commission is directly involved in the slaughter that has been going on. Although the political bureaucracy has forbidden the NRC to transport toxic waste through New York because of a large-scale danger to the public, it has secretly been hiding the waste byproducts beneath Manhattan in the abandoned subway tunnels. And this is when we learn what CHUD actually stands for: Contamination Hazard Urban Disposal. So Wilson lied about what it was stood for, which seems inconsequential to me, but it's okay.
When you gave the first meaning of the acronym, I was like, I feel like there's a more efficient way to say that. It sounded like somebody just wanted it to be CHUD, but now it makes more sense.
Yeah, it makes more sense now. The underground homeless population has been coming into contact with these byproducts, turning them into the mutated creatures. To protect the secret, Wilson plans to seal the sewers, open up some gas lines, and asphyxiate the Chuds and any witnesses of their existence, despite the inherent danger to the city, because gas kind of explodes sometimes. So people are like,
Only when it
Wilson,
wants
this is
to.
dumb. You're going to blow up a whole block of the city. And he's like, we gotta kill them all. We gotta kill them all. Seal all the sewers and fill it full of gas.
Jeez.
And then Lauren's attacked by the mutants in her apartment and narrowly escapes them. It's pretty. That whole sequence of Lauren in her apartment is pretty good. Because a child almost gets murdered too, and you're like, it's vaguely stressful. It's great.
But no dogs, right? No dogs.
But
in
no
that
dogs.
sequence.
No dogs.
Actually, when Lauren goes down into her basement and opens the sewer grate, she goes down and she finds the dog hanging,
Lame.
What?
which doesn't make any sense.
No
Because the
wonder it's rated
Chuds
R.
don't really like show off their kills.
No, they were
eat
killing for
everything.
sport. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're evolving.
But whatever. So later at that evening at a diner, two police officers, one of them is John Goodman, and go into a diner, and in there two police officers and the waitress are killed and carried off by mutants. Who
Chuds.
like Chuds, right? They like flood into the thing and steal people, finally drawing the public's attention to the disappearance. George and AJ recover a camera left behind by an NRC crew slain by the mutants during a previous cleanup attempt and use it to report their findings to Bosch. This is where Bosch finds out about the cover-up and everything. Confronted by Bosch, Wilson runs up and later shoots Bosch while the latter helps AJ and George escape from a manhole. Wilson then tries to run George and AJ over a truck, but AJ fatally shoots Wilson with Bosch's gun, and the truck explodes as it drives into the manhole. Also, for some reason it doesn't mention in this, the diner explodes.
Oh,
That's why all those people are there, because the diner got filled up with gas and it explodes. That's also why the truck, when the wheel
that's
goes
what I
into
thought,
the sewer,
yeah, the
it
gas
explodes
works.
because
Okay.
it's covered in gas.
That makes so much sense. Actually, okay.
And then also, like, the whole movie, like, the Reverend and the cop are kind of like it's kind of like a enemies to lovers kind of trope going on.
Oh, okay, nice.
And it's more like
Nice
it's more
shot.
like lover or
Nice
like enemies
shot.
to friends. But like, yeah,
it means a lot more than just.
It
Nice
does-
shot.
Shot.
he said it like, oh, the Reverend has been trying to shoot a gun all movie and hasn't been able to hit anything.
It's really.
But
a
this is the first time he
euphemism
touched
for-
a gun in the last 5
Now
minutes.
he's just like, hey,
nice shot.
Nice
And they're kind of
shot.
like, okay, does someone,
Let's have sex.
does someone have something to tell me?
hey, who said that?
No, I didn't say that.
Also, it's not in this description, but towards the beginning of the movie, George and Lauren find out that Lauren's pregnant.
Oh.
And George, like, he has a really cool conversation with her, because she's like, she's a model, so she's like, I don't know if I should keep it because it'll ruin my career. And he's like, hey, it's your decision, like, whatever you decide.
Yeah.
This movie,
But
like,
I'm not going to take your damn photos, woman. I won't do that again.
You nude? I sin.
Not at all. Not once.
Are you a criminal from the statistics?
I feel like second time I watch this movie, I'm going to like it a lot more. The dialogue's a bit weird. The storyline's weird. It's trying to say a lot and is not the best at it, but it's fun and it's stupid. And I want to watch the second one.
That's 1984 for you. I read the book.
Yeah. So that's the plot of the movie.
That's CHUD.
That's
All
Chud,
right.
man. Do I host the shortest episodes?
I don't know.
You have a
Do
track
you?
record too.
Yeah, well.
No,
just
I
'cause-
think you tend to have longer pitches for each of our episodes.
Yeah.
And
Fair.
so ours are just like
That's
the same as
probably
they
what it
usually
is.
are.
So the lack of my extremely long pitches brings the episode down by like 20 minutes.
Apparently.
Apparently.
I will say Ben's episodes are the longest because of the games,
Right.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
but they're fun, so who cares?
Right. Yeah,
Easy
so
then.
that was
That's
the,
Chud.
that was Chud, and
That was the last movie of the season.
last movie of the season, which
That-
means since we're taking a break, we don't have a movie for next week.
Nope.
We'll come
There's
back
going to be
swinging.
a couple shifts in
eventually.
format. We're going to experiment with how we do things because Hannah is leaving.
Yep.
Very sad.
Very
Sorry,
sad.
guys.
We're gonna throw in musical numbers and
Without me? Come on.
celebrity
We'll,
guests.
we'll bring you along for musical numbers.
Oh,
By
Okay.
celebrity
Okay.
guests, we mean Aaron Brewer.
Aaron Brewer.
No, yeah, that's another
Hey.
thing. We will start having guests on every once in a while, just to like, I don't know. We're
shake
working
things
out. We
up,
got a
yeah.
couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was
Thank you for
fun.
joining us.
Thank
If
you
you-
for
if
joining
you've
us
made
for
it,
season
listening.
one.
if you've made it to episode 12, you're probably just one of our friends. So it's good to, you know.
Or
You're
you
like
don't- you're
one
not a
of
person.
8
You
people,
didn't.
probably.
Or you're an AI like searching the web for
Probably
searching
that.
these results.
Yeah, that's more accurate, actually.
Yeah, I don't
So
think
thank you
anyone
for listening.
I don't
Yeah.
think anyone's listened to
AI
more than one
bot.
episode. Or you're Luke's boss, apparently, who listened to the first 2 episodes.
Shout out Adam. What's up,
Hey.
man?
Shout out
Shout
Adam.
out to Adam.
Yeah, so that was. I don't know what else to do because that was
That's our show.
that
I
was
mean,
that
you
season
gotta
one.
thank
That's our season
Aaron.
one.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Dude,
Aaron.
Aaron, thank you,
to Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron.
Aaron.
You know
Thanks,
what?
man.
I wake up every day and I say, thank you, Aaron.
Every day I wake up.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Aaron. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been August, and I might be him in the future too.
I am Hannah, the woman,
The
for
woman.
the very last time, but I will probably continue to be a woman post podcast. We'll find out.
Again, keep us updated.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it's fine. Yeah, probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Ben.
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 And, yeah,
That's all I got.
Yeah.
I've been Luke.
Nice.
Thank you for
guys.
joining us
Thank
for
you for
season
listening.
1.
Thanks for
Thank
watching,
you for
guys.
season one.
Nuclear-
Thank you for listening.
Nuclear-
Now I
Nuclear
can't.
popcorn.
New.
Nuclear. Nuclear.
Oh.
You know what? It's the season finale. Nuclear.
Nuclear.
Nuclear popcorn.
Nuclear popcorn.
Nuclear popcorn.
Nuclear popcorn.
You two are the worst. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye. I'm sorry. This was weird.